I told you about? In there he says, the friars shall not ride on horseback. Now, there's not a lot of horses around here, so we can say, I never ride on horseback. So to try to interpret that, to try to live that now, we try to look at people who are poor, maybe who don't have cars, and see how they would travel. And a lot of times they walk. So in certain trips that we take, we walk. And certain trips we take the bus. And in certain trips we can try to travel by, are you going to put this on the internet, Celia? By hitchhiking. We were giving a talk one time about how we hitchhiked from Boston to Brazil for World Youth Day in 2013. And we hitchhiked back. And it was like at a church. So that like the girl was in like junior high or something like that, and she was driving home with her mom. She said, Mom, those guys hitchhiked from Boston to Brazil. And then she said to her mom, Mom, what's hitchhiking? So her mom explained to her what hitchhiking is, and then she said, Mom, that doesn't sound safe. So she was right, but the Blessed Mother takes care of us, and so she uses our hitchhiking as an opportunity for her to do like two really important things. To encourage us to be ready, or to wait for the ride. So one of the things we can pray for as we're trying to get a ride hitchhiking is not like, Blessed Mother, just send us a ride right now because we need a ride, but pray for the ride that you want us to receive. And that maybe there's a person who hasn't gotten out of bed yet, that the Virgin Mary wants us to receive a ride from that person. And so it's an opportunity for her to be like a missionary in heaven through us, so that she can allow us to be with these people and to talk to them. But she also uses it as a time to let us know that she's in charge. That we have to pray to her and pray to her Son to get ourselves out of trouble. Especially when we're the ones who put ourselves in the trouble. And sometimes we make bad decisions and we force the Virgin Mary to get us out of bad situations, and she does because she loves us. So the travel, walking, we walk a lot, and so pray for us that we're safe. Because sometimes we're walking, we're thinking about what we need to do, and then all of a sudden we realize we're in the middle of the street. I was walking in the street one day, and I almost walked out into traffic, and this lady, it was early in the morning, it was maybe 9 o'clock, 8 or 9 o'clock, and the lady said, "Oh, you're sleeping and it's early." You're in the street and you're asleep and it's early. Just that, you're supposed to be awake. If it was at night, you'd have an excuse to dart out into traffic. So we need to focus and be safe. So please pray for us that we stay safe. Yes?
I just hope that you wear something besides those sandals in the wintertime, that's all.
So we certainly can, but sometimes we get lazy. So your toes get kind of used to just being free like this all the time. I mean, even they get socks, they feel they're constricted, and so. But it is a penance to think about the people that don't have shoes, and the questing, the asking for food door to door. We're just being content with our sandals and maybe one other type of footwear. It's a really important thing, and it's a nice penance, but when I actually went to Nicaragua to live there, that's when a lot of these things actually hit me. Some of the kids running around, they got these little flip-flops on, and that's the only thing they have. Or there's some kids whose parents say to them, "Go out today, get $20, and if you don't get $20, don't come home." And so that they come to our house and they knock on the door, or their mom sends them out to beg from us. My mom says that we need rice, or my mom says we need beans. And sometimes the kids are playing with us, and their mom didn't tell them to do it at all. And sometimes, so sometimes the kids are, they're having fun, but sometimes they really do need to help because there's problems in their family. So for us to be in solidarity and in Christian love with these people who are suffering throughout the world, it allowed me to understand more why we do the things that we do. So yeah, but we can wear boots. We can cover our feet because apparently we don't want to get frostbite.
No.
Toes are very important for balance. That's what I've been told. So we've been talking with this for about 20 minutes. Are there any other questions?
Your clothes, you just have the one.
So we have this one habit. We might be changing our fabric pretty soon. I'm not really sure. We'll see what happens. But yeah, we get one of these because St. Francis said, you guys can have one. So he gave us one. So that's really important because there are then a lot of people who don't have a lot of clothes. And if you were a poor beggar and you had no place to go, the only clothes you'd have would be on your back. And so when St. Francis started to be jealous of poverty, when he had nice clothes on and he saw someone who had worse clothes, he switched with him. And so that's now, if you were a poor person, if you were a beggar in the 13th century, then this is what you would wear. Because instead of your hat and your vest and your coat and your pants and your jacket, you would just have one article of clothing that covered it all.
Excuse me.
So that's what you would wear. And so this, for a long time, this is just what the poor would wear. But now it's become like this is the Franciscan habit. But it's because of the fact that this is what the poor wore. And when he walked away, he saw that there was a rope on the ground, so he picked it up and he used that as his belt. And then the Dominicans gave us the rosary, and then we gave the rosary to the world. So that's what the Franciscans say. So to have the rosary is very important. Yeah. Yes.
What about the beard?
So the beard, the bald head, these are like important signs from the Bible of giving ourselves to God. So the Franciscans and other clerics and religious communities would have the tonsure. So we don't do that, but we're allowed to shave our heads. So we don't have the tonsure, but we do have our heads shaved. And when St. Paul in the Acts of the Apostles, when he made a promise to God, he shaved his head, right? And when you would do penance, you would sit in dust and ashes. You can put like ashes on your head, or even to like pull your hair out was like this sign that you're doing penance and that you're crying out to God for him to look at your situation. And so that's an important sign for us not